What's going on, guys? Spud here, and welcome to episode 41 of the Roundup. In this episode, Breach and Surge have 4-1 records going into Major 3. Both teams look like they could go on a really good run here. Vegas Falcons get reverse swept to miss out on winners bracket for the first time in the Falcons Call of Duty history. Optic versus FaZe was a banger, and honestly, unforced errors costed Optic here, and they lose the match, but honestly, Optic should have won that series, in my opinion. We're going to, of course, be doing our Major 3 predictions here as well, people, which is always, as I said this every time, they're amazing. I love doing the predictions. Our MVP ladder, has it changed going into the Major? We also now have a Rookie of the Year ladder. However, at this moment in time, I'm just putting the top 3 because I still don't even know if there's, I think there's 10 rookies, but most of them were the Saudi ones. If you do enjoy this video, please do like this episode of the Roundup and subscribe if you're new. Appreciate the support as always. Honestly, I don't know what's going to happen at this Major, but I've predicted the wrong winner for the last 2, so let's see what happens this time around. But of course, we're going to start off with the matches that we've just had. We start off with Toronto Ultra versus Miami Heretics, and this is a 3-1 win for Toronto Ultra. If we look at the stats, CleanX had a very good series. Metals had a great series against FaZe, but he's had a bit of a rough one here. I think everyone else has played pretty well in this series. I'll show you the round 11 because obviously it got it to a map 4 in the end.
Teams. Oh wait,
we are going back to A.
And Ultra's figuring this out too. The wrap on the wrap on the wrap. Okay, it pays off. They get this down quickly. Just gotta go plan it.
There is a car, so the car's gonna get the info. So Miami now should know this is an A hit.
Well, now they definitely do. 4v4, bomb planted, round 11. Here we go for the map. Super, the first blood. Miami have dominated the first blood, so they're looking to keep it going here. Beans can't finish the kill. They slide out, and Chow now to show to Steves. Can he be the hero for them again? Not going to win that gunfight with him on the heady, and now it's all on CleanX. He's on 11. 20 seconds to go. Real smokes him around the corner.
Honestly, that kill from Real was amazing as well. Yeah, but obviously apart from that, the first map was close as well, but it's an Ultra win. To take them 4-1. And you know what? I think as it stands, Ultra definitely are one of the favourites for the tournament. Even obviously without having Scrap on the team, I do believe that. And then we had Boston Breach versus CLOUD9 New York. And going into this, I actually went for CLOUD9 to win this. They got smoked. Yeah, honestly, CLOUD9 are not making champs. I've changed my mind on it. I actually think that if Rocker and CLOUD9 do bad at the Major, I think Optic should be okay, even if they have to play Thieves off FaZe. At least they're going to probably make champs now. I'm just going to give a massive shout out to this Boston Breach team because, you know, obviously, Awakening, Cammy and Purge were playing in Challengers champs. You know, they're on that Omit Brooklyn team that came second. I think it was Omit Brooklyn with ProLoot. And they've genuinely just had a really good season. Like, they've been solid. Yeah, they need to maybe do better with the LAN, but they beat Thieves at Major 2. If they could go for like a top 6, I think that would be pretty solid. But yeah, Breach have done well. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with the Boston Breach. There's obviously been talk of apparently some more Saudi organisations wanting to get into the league. Now, obviously, if that's the case and there's no expansion, that's not good. Let's be honest. But yeah, Breach played well there. Obviously, everyone positive. On the other side, Cloud9, I can't believe they haven't made a roster change yet. It's kind of worrying. And then we had the Battle of LA. Yeah, it's not even a fucking battle. Yeah, Gentlemates are shit. I say it every week, chat. They're the worst team in the league now. Yeah, Hydra's Envoy Scrap. Everyone played well, to be honest, on this side. Fellow had a bit of a rough one here, though. 0.78, not ideal. But obviously, we know that Fellow is better at LAN. So let's see what happens. But yeah, really rough series, that for the mates. It's just what we expect, though. And then we had Vancouver Surge versus Cloud9 in an absolute banging series. A game 5 here as well. A bit better showing from Cloud9. I mean, look at Sib. We all know that Sib is the best player on this team anyway. But just get him some help. I mean, look, he had Hydra on his team last year. and he struggled to start with, and then he was amazing at the end of the year. But look at 0-4, 107 kills, 117 from Sib. A really close first map, but this round 11 obviously changed the game, because if they hadn't won that, it would have been a 3-0.
Sib he should be able to spot this info. No, he gives up the cross. Nope, now there we go. Able to see the cross, but he's gonna break the glass, and I think he just blacked out.
Oh, he absolutely did. I was just about to say, remember how I said Sib drops 15 sometimes? I thought
That was a really, really weird moment there for Sib.
he was about to, and then he blacked out and broke the glass.
Maybe he thinks that's the second guy? I'm not really sure.
Oh, man. Attach has to ice up. He has had himself some clutches. Can he do it here, 1 versus 2? Able to spot one, but not going to matter. Abuz is...
Funny enough, right, Neptune, he just must not be coming to the facility, because they've obviously only got 5 more online qualifiers now. But I'm really surprised that Neptune is still playing at home, because he's the only pro in the league that is now, I believe. Because obviously Dylan Rex was already at the Carolina facility in Charlotte, so I'm assuming that might just be a personal decision or what. But obviously he's playing amazing, so it's not like it's going to affect them. But yeah, good series that though. Surge CLOUD9. Obviously Surge get 4-1. They'll be very happy with that. I mean, look, in my opinion, the best 4 teams there's a 4-team league at the moment. I think there's 4 teams that stand out from the rest: Surge, FaZe, Thieves, and Ultra. So you kind of expected Surge to be getting like a 3-2 at worst. So 4-1 solid. And then we have the Miami Heretics, who also go 4-1, and this is going to be their home major. They, apart from the control, this was a pretty easy series for the Miami Heretics into Minnesota Rocker. Kenny, unfortunately, had a really rough series here. On the other side, both rookies playing amazing, Rencor and Super. Metals played really well here. Real played well, but yeah, I think obviously after a bit of a rough series against Toronto Ultra for Metals, he's definitely shown why he's in the league today, because obviously he was amazing against FaZe. He is quite an inconsistent player, Metals, but I think this Miami Heretics team is really good. You know, all Spanish team is definitely working, and obviously Super and Rencor have come in this season. Now, obviously it was for Lucky, for Vickle. Obviously didn't take part this season; he retired, and obviously Lucky got replaced. And I think it was the right decision, because Heretics look good. They've got 40 CDL points in this split. And Champs, in my opinion, is looking pretty likely. As long as they don't get top 12 at the majors, should be alright. Then we have Gentlemates versus Ultra. And Gentlemates actually won a map here. They actually destroyed Toronto Ultra in the first hard point. I don't know what happened at that hard point. Ben Beans, I don't know what happened to my boy, but he had a rough one. Even Kleenex had a pretty rough one. Joe Deceives, though, was in the protocol. Honestly, the protocol should have been won by the mates, but they messed up. Joe Deceives clutched up. Kismet, though, had himself a series, and it looked a bit more like 99 Kiz, except that they didn't win anything from it, of course. But yeah, this was actually a pretty good series. I'll show you the round 11, but honestly, in another world, this could have been a 3-0 for the mates.
If he pulls that off, I'm going streaking.
Be ready. Be ready for this.
He's just got zapped. Oh my God.
We're going to chase him. Joe's here now.
Go, go, go. Go, Kiz.
He's
Go, Kiz.
elusive.
He's moving, grooving. Another one. Oh! Thought he had the kill. Under 30 to go.
Clint's ready. He's ready to just rip him off. Start streaking.
I can't get. I'll get fired. I can't actually take my clothes off and run, Joe.
Should he hit the bomb down?
Oh my God.
This is winnable.
Kiz. For the 1v4 and the map.
He's played this so well. He's played this so well.
Joe Deceives an insider just hunting. Somebody's on it. Kiz is trying to check it. Sees one, knows he gotta go. Trying to get the angle. Oh, Lord, can't get back down.
What an effort from Kismet, though. If he got a 1v4, that would have been Player of the Year. I mean, look, Player of the Year last year was definitely Dashy against FaZe at Major 3 in that 1v3 on Invasion. Yeah, what a series that was. Yeah, that was honestly, though, Gentlemates could have almost had that map, but they didn't. Right, we have Vegas Falcons versus FaZe. Right, this is the first and the only hard point, I think, since this team came a thing, that since the 3-0, their first defeat, that they haven't won the hard point. But honestly, they're an amazing hard point team, the Falcons. Pred had a great series. Celium and Draz, I mean, MVP Celium. Not a surprise there. Best player in the game, for a reason. The dealership and the protocol were very, very one-sided. And I'll show you here the ending of this map 4, which was really close, and Falcons almost took FaZe to a game 5.
Line draws up, can't spot out enough players. The trade battle continuing on the inside. Falcons, can they get the break? Selim and Abizi on the in. That should be game. Surely the last fight now. A break. The trades. It's not over yet.
It's all about the fights, and now you go 3 for 1 if you're Atlanta. Just got to get someone in.
And that's it. That was the last break you needed. And Vegas Falcons X did wait. He slid in, draws a cell, get their kills, and it.
Yeah, we knew already that Falcons weren't going to make champs, but genuinely, they could have had 3 wins in this split, and then, you know, you never know if they've got a top 3 at the major, they could have a small chance still. But look, I think Falcons will be a better team next season. I'm really interested to see who they pick up on the ARs. I do think that they might actually keep Xnid. I think Pred and Xnid could be the duo for the SMG next year. So they keep some Saudi talent in the team, but then I think they'll go for 2 big AR players. And you know what? I could definitely see Sib as one of them. But let's see what happens. Anyway, we have to talk Falcons again, guys. What happened here? A reverse sweep against the Breach around 11. This was actually really good for Optic. This was an amazing series, by the way. This was such an important result for Optic because it meant they got winners bracket. Priester played quite well. I thought Xnid and Pred were probably the better players here on that Falcon side. On the Breach side, Cammy had a very good series and clearly deserved that MVP. The first map was close, which we're going to win. Honestly, why are teams playing Vegas Falcons on Skyline? This really needs to be studied. Why are teams actually going, oh, let's play the Falcons on Skyline when they're getting absolute. The Falcons are good at this map. This is their bread and butter now. Like, they're so good on this map.
We're here towards Kitchen, but Cammy cuts down 2. Awakening there for the 3rd. This is their last hurrah, last push.
And it's all going to happen through hot tub side or top catwalk. Not exactly what you want. Funneling into a choke point, but the first 2 kills are in. They find a way to get them out of the hard point and actually flip things around just a touch. So it'll stop at 241. Look at the minimap. As we head down towards the locked hard point at Kitchen, it's going to be just a foot race. 50-50 battle over the top. 223, 241. Here we go.
And Vegas start off in the kill feed. Xnid is able to line up a triple. So they're initially going to soak up a lot of time here. Basically, have a tie game until Boston are able to contest this. They're trying to drop down from the middle of the map. You got pin spawns galore going on. Yep. This is the one wave you need to hold down.
Priesta! Oh, big double for Priesta. Shuts down one side of the play. Xnid on the other. It's a double for Xnid. Could be the winning play. Awakening for 2. RC just needs to stay down and not scam. And he's just able to sneak under the...
Superb play from Xnid there to win that map. Shows why he's been so good for them this year. And then, honestly, it was like 3-0 Vegas at one point, I think. Xnid had a 1v3. Xnid had a crazy 1v2. I'm going to show you the 1v2, by the way. How on earth did Purge not win this?
Purge on the other side, just throwing shoulders. Xnid trying to again play off the... Oh! Here's the retake of the site. They've cleaned it all up. Timing on the defuse. Xnid playing for the diffuser, finds the first, slips away. Trying to reset. Purge on the other side, just throwing shoulders. Xnid trying to again play off the... Oh! Win from Xnid! Had to have been at most 30 HP.
Look at Purge. That is a breakdown. That is a breakdown from Purge. Little did we know he'd find a way, in fact, because he forces a round 11 with a really nice 2-piece. And then we have a round 11 here. What a series.
Round 11 stats. Not good from either team. But this feels different. Snoopy making his play forward. He's got help. It's got a lot of help. But wait, Vegas are actually in a really good spot to try to contest this. Exton from inside, but RCD's drops early. Now Exton kind of has to just play whack-a-mole here and just pop up and surprise this Boston offense, which has not committed for a plant yet. Does he find timing to line him up here? No. Snoopy slides through, finds the kill. Trent trying to hold on to the doorway as much as he possibly can. Gets the trade. Does he slip away? No. And the follow-up kill is there. Boston able to come back, get to around 11.
Fred walks off, he's fuming. Really good round there from Boston. That was like a superb B player there from Boston. But yeah, well done to Boston. 4-1. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I didn't think they were going to get champs this year. Same with Miami Heretics. Obviously, Gentlemates aren't making champs, and I don't think Cloud9 will either. Right, then we had the series that we're probably going to talk about just as much as the last one. FaZe Optic. Fucking hell, how did Optic not win this? They lose 3-1 in ridiculous circumstances. Dashi, again, Optic's best player, has been all season, was the best player in the series, but obviously it will go to Draza here. Celium had a bit of a rough one, but that's allowed. First map, Optic slammed them. It was superb. It was a really good first map. Skies had a really good map here. Then, oh, this was terrible from Optic. They had a cruise missile, and they had a RCXD, and they lose the round on a 4v4 retake. When they were defending, they planted the bomb.
Be inside, everyone's safe, undercover. He can't quite creep it in towards Ting where Celium was, but here we go. Under the coverage of the smoke, though, BC finds first blood. Oh, Celium is in there as well. More toys at play. RCXD as they send it towards that player. Skies. Oh, he can't bring them through the hot gates, and now Hook all alone. A perfect setup from FaZe as they gun him down, and the shenanigans.
Terrible play. They had a Hellstorm and a RCXD, and they lose the round. I mean, the RCXD should have been called in earlier. Skies called it in when it was a 4v2 situation. It was never going to work. It actually should have been called in, I think, when the Hellstorm was active. But then I guess if they did that and then FaZe were running around, they could have got 3-2 kills, so I get that. But Control, honestly, Optic could have done better in that. The comeback, though, on this vault, oh my god, I'm fuming. I'm actually fuming with how Optic played this. Their P4 holds were terrible as well.
The hop. No contest yet. Lead changes on its way. Damage from Abe. Can anyone get there on time? It's FaZe holding it together once again. FaZe now looking for the dub. Anyone from Optic gotta go, gotta fly. No!
I saw Miami Heretics do this as well. I think it was against Toronto Ultra, right? Why on earth are players... Look, these guys are professionals. They get paid money to play this game. Obviously, I'm a fucking, like, Plat 2 player at best, if I was to play ranked for a proper grind. But why are players trying to contest vault from down below? Because by the time you've climbed up, you're dead. You're not going to... It's really rare that you're going to get yourself 2 kills anywhere in that area. I think it's ridiculous, to be honest. I mean, look, GG's to FaZe, but honestly, Optic through that. Optic should have been 3-2 this split. The Falcons' defeat was obviously an embarrassment. The Heretics' defeat was not good, but not the end of the world. That defeat actually hurts because I think Optic should have beaten FaZe for the first time this season. So the last time Optic beat FaZe was at Major 3, at Modern Warfare 3. That's genuinely the last time they've beat him. To finish off our online qualifiers, we had Carolina Royal Ravens with Rex making his debut, and he got wrecked. It's a 0.6, not a good start, but it's his first series in the league, so we'll give him a benefit of the doubt. Gwyn, though, 3,950 damage. What? Yeah, this was a slamming. Well done to Scrap and Co. Obviously, Scrap had a good series. I actually, I thought about Gwyn on the MVP ladder, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I even think his online performances have dropped off recently, so, yeah, I'm going to keep him. All I'm going to say is now I'm going to keep him there where he is now, but honestly, he is definitely in jeopardy of getting taken off the rookie of the MVP ladder regardless now, because I just think he's underperforming now. Right, do we do the predictions first, or do we do the rookie of the year ladder, MVP ladder? We'll do the Major 2 predictions first. So here we go then, guys. We have got our Major 3 bracket. I keep saying Major 2. Obviously I know that's wrong. Right, let's just get straight into it. So we have Thieves, Ravens, Heretics, Ultra, Breach, Optic, Surge, FaZe. Some banging matches. I actually think that's a lovely winners bracket. Then we have Rocker, Gentlemates, Falcons, and CLOUD9. I mean, based off who's playing who, I think Falcons probably have the best chance of a win. Or maybe Rocker, depending on if they get Ravens or not. But we have to obviously see what happens. So we're going to get straight into it. Straight into it. So Thieves Ravens. Right, people. Thieves might have lost against Breach, and Scrap's winners round 1 record actually is horrific. But I think that after they've just absolutely obliterated them, I think it's going to take a bit of time for Rex to get used to playing in the league. I'm going to go with the Thieves to win this one. I'll go with the 3-0 as well. I think it'll be a pretty straightforward one here for LA Thieves. Then we have Heretics versus Ultra. Obviously, Heretics being the home team. Could they get that home buff? I just think Toronto Ultra will have a bit too much for Miami Heretics, but I think it could go to a Game 5. I think it'll be a really fun series to watch. I'm going to go with Ultra, though. Optic versus Boston is a pretty tough series to predict. I mean, it's hard to tell. Breach have had a brilliant... Breach have had a brilliant... brilliant split here. I mean, they're seed 2. Breach are second seed, which is kind of crazy. If someone had said that before the season started. I'm going to go with Optic, though. I just think Optic are a better team on LAN. Yeah, it could go either way. I'm going to go Optic 3-1, but honestly, it could go either way. And then FaZe versus Surge will be an absolute banger. I'm going to go with 3-1 FaZe, though. I just think they'll have a bit too much for Surge. So then that leaves us our losers matches. Now, obviously, Rocker, CLOUD9 need to get some points here. If they don't, their champs' hopes are in massive jeopardy. But do you know what, Minnesota Rocker? I'm going to go with the Minnesota Rocker to put Ravens into top 12. Now, if Ravens get top 12, I do actually think that they're starting to underperform now. Like, I think Ravens could be in a bit of trouble. I mean, look, they're going to make champs, but they could still finish like 7th seed and then get Thieves off FaZe or Ultra. But I'm going to go with Rocker beating Ravens. I think it'll be a good one, though. I'm going to go with a Game 5, not around 11, though. Heretics versus Gentlemates. This will be a 3-1 win to Heretics. I think Gentlemates might take a map, though. Breach versus Falcons. Obviously, Breach just reverse sweep the Falcons. I'm going to go with 3-1 to Boston Breach. I think Breach will have a bit too much for Falcons here. Surge CLOUD9, 3-0 Surge. Sorry, CLOUD9. Do you know what, though? CLOUD9 did get one of the closest wins you will ever see, closest 3-0s you'll ever see against Toronto Ultra, who ended up finishing third in the major. So honestly, I wouldn't even rule out a CLOUD9 win, but that's unlikely. Then we'll do our winners round 2 matches, right? And this is where we start to go a bit interesting here with who we're going to go for, because I am going to go with Toronto Ultra to send Thieves to the lower bracket. I'm going to go Ultra, and I'm going to go 3-1 to Toronto Ultra. I just genuinely think the way that Ultra played Thieves at Major 2, in that top 4 match, I just genuinely, it was absolutely, it looked like a cakewalk for Toronto Ultra. Ultra have already beaten Thieves and FaZe at the in the online qualifiers, and we've seen that they're good on LAN. I'm going Ultra here, but it'll be a close one. I'm going to go 3-1 though. FaZe versus Optic. Yeah, they're going to own us again. Optic literally can't beat FaZe at the last couple of games, except once, which was at our Major 3, which Optic won. I'm going FaZe, though, here to beat Optic. I'm going to go with this 3-1. No, actually, no, I'm going to go 3-0 FaZe. I'm going to go 3-0 FaZe, but let's see what happens there, of course. So then we have Heretics versus Rocker, Breach versus Surge to get into top 6. I'm going to go 3-1 to the Miami Heretics, as the horse will be in a top 6 spot, which would give them a decent amount of CDL points, which obviously if Rocker only got top 8 and CLOUD9 got top 12, that would be pretty much, as long as they get a couple of wins online, they should be fine. Surge versus Breach, I'm going to go 3-1 here to Surge. I think Breach might take this S&D, but I'm going to go with Surge to be pretty dominant on the respawns. So then we have our top 6 matches, and I'm going to go with... I mean, Miami beat Optic pretty comfortably online, and this event is obviously in Miami, so they're going to have that home buff. But I'm going to go for... It is classed as a shock, I guess. I'm going to go Optic. I think if they can just iron out the unforced errors that they did against FaZe, I think they could do okay this major. I think if Optic got top 4, it's an improvement on what they've been getting this season. It'd be good because they're literally a top 8 team on LAN. Surge versus Thieves. Now, honestly, the fact that in my split, one of these two teams is going to have to go. I mean, look, literally, it's most likely Ultra Thieves, FaZe, or Surge are going to be playing. 2 of those will be playing each other for top 6. Which is kind of crazy. Surge versus Thieves, though, I'm going to go with 3-2. To Thieves, and I think they're going to ice it up massively, and it'll give them a big boost for the rest of the tournament. Optic versus Thieves, I'm going to have to go 3-0 Thieves, unfortunately. I just think they'll have a bit too much for the Optic boys, but top 4 isn't terrible, but obviously Major 4 would need to be an improvement regardless, because you can't be going, oh, at least Optic got into a Championship Sunday this season, even though they've had all the roster issues, and yeah, they're not going to win champs, they're not going to win an event, they need to be doing better. Now, FaZe versus Ultra is a very, very interesting one. And I'm going to go 3-2. It's going to go to a game 5, but it's going to be the MVP of the CDL season, Celium, who's going to come up huge and take FaZe to a 4th consecutive grand final if you include EWC on LAN. Which obviously sends Ultra into that rematch with Thieves. Now, the rematch with Thieves is going to be a banger. It's going to be a 3-1. And LA Thieves are going on a bit of a run here. They're going to go to losers. They're going to go to the grand finals and knock Ultra out. And it'd be a top 3 for Ultra, which wouldn't be terrible, but I think they'd like to get to a grand final with this roster. Now, can FaZe make another win on LAN? Or will Thieves have enough for them? My score prediction is 4-2. I've predicted the winner of the last few tournaments wrong each time. I can't even remember who I predicted for EWC, but it might have been Optic. I predicted Optic to finish 6th at Champs, they won it. I predicted Optic to win Major 1, they came 8th. I predicted Thieves to win Major 2, they came 4th. So, can I jinx it again? That's what I'm kind of hoping, because I've gone FaZe. Now, if FaZe win again, it's just going to be so boring. But if FaZe won all 4 majors and didn't win Champs, they've still had a good season. But obviously, everyone cares about Champs. I'm going to go FaZe to beat Thieves 4-2. But genuinely, this could be a really interesting tournament. We'll have to see what happens. I mean, look, obviously the major review next week's episode of the Roundup will be obviously pretty decent, but we'll have to see what happens. There's a long way to go, of course. Right, we're going to start with the Rookie of the Year ladder. So yeah, like I've said, obviously there's the Saudi players that aren't on here, especially Kicks. He was closest to being on the top 3. Then you've got also Lunas and you've got Rex. But yeah, as it currently stands, this is my Rookie of the Year ladder. Super's only had a few series, but I think he's had a way better few series than Lunas has. Rencor is no doubt the Rookie of the Year. It's not even close now. Unless Super gets MVP at Major 3 and Major 4. But that's not going to happen. yeah, look, my prediction was Super, and if Super didn't come in, it'd be Renkor. Could Super have won Rookie of the Year if he was in the team for the entire season? He could have, but Renkor's been brilliant, so... Yeah, Renkor first, Exnid in second, and Super in third. I don't think that will change for the rest of the season, unless Gentlemates or Carolina won an event in regular season. Obviously, these are just regular season stuff. If obviously after EWC and champs, I can obviously tell you who my who like MVP is and stuff like that for the entire year. But obviously, this is just for the regular season. So let's do our MVP of the week. Oof, that's actually quite tough to be honest. There hasn't really been like a standout player, in my opinion. But you know what? Thieves had a really nice week. I'm gonna give it to Envoy. Why not? I'll give it to Envoy. Because Thieves obviously really easy 2-0. No maps dropped. I could give it to any of them on the Thieves team, but I'll give it to Envoy because I think he had a good week. Right, MVP ladder. Chat, no changes in the top 10. I've kept Gwyn in over or for a Boozer or Nasty. But I'm pretty happy with that still. Look, Celium and Simp aren't changing. Unless Surge were to win the event and Neptune got MVP. Because obviously, you know, he's not playing with superstars. I think that would be a bit of a difference. But apart from that, this is not changing for now. Obviously, look, we don't know what Major 3 is going to show. There obviously will be some major changes in the MVP ladder, but you've got to remember, we literally have 5 more weeks of the MVP ladder, and then it's done. Because we've got Major 3, Major 4 qualifying week 1, qualifying week 2, qualifying week 3, Major 4, and then that's it for the regular season. The regular season is done in 5 weeks, which is kind of crazy. This is why it's rubbish that there's only 4 majors a year now. It has to be 5. So, that is going to be the end of this episode of the Roundup. Thank you so much for the support on this one. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know who you think's going to win Major 2. I mean, look, I think a lot of people are going to go with FaZe, but obviously they've looked a bit rusty online all season. But they perform on LAN, which is most important. So, yeah, let's see what happens. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Do drop a like and subscribe. Obviously, we do this every week when there's COD on, obviously. After champs, there might be a couple of weeks until EWC. After EWC, there will obviously be a break for a couple of months. That's just how we always do the roundup. But obviously in that time, we'll be uploading other stuff anyway, because we're still uploading 3 videos a week. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great rest of your evening. I hope I haven't missed a segment. I feel like I have. I hope I haven't. Anyway, bye for now.